today we are doing the least favorite books of 2019. My list is a lot shorter than favorite books, so that's a good year.
Yay!
All right, who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So the first book I have is Illusionarium by Heather Dixon. I kind of talked about this in our October wrap-up. It just, I don't know, it just fell flat for me. If it had been written as like a middle grade, I would have rated it higher. But it wasn't. It just was boring. But it follows a boy who's living in kind of an isolated small town. In the big city, there's like an illness that's sweeping through him that kills only women. And then it hits his small town, and he just needs to try to find a cure for it.
Probably would have been more exciting if she needed to find a cure for it.
Maybe.
It feels more relevant.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, his sister and his mom get sick.
Oh,
So.
okay. Okay, the first book on my list is A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. And this is like a whole series that they have. It's like a what if with Disney movies. And so A Whole New World obviously is the what if Aladdin. And so the premise of this one is what if Jafar had actually gotten the lamp? He hadn't have fallen into the pit with Aladdin. And I didn't realize, first of all, it's like word for word from the movie, the first part of it.
Like the Disney movie?
Yeah. That was a little weird. And then it was actually really dark. And some of the things that happened, I just did not like. I don't know. I guess it just really felt like it ruined something good. And the what if wasn't as good. I did read another one, Once Upon a Dream, and I liked that one more, but
Cinderella?
No, not Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
And that one was kind of cool. That's like what if when Prince Philip kissed Sleeping Beauty, if he had been sucked into her dream and fallen asleep instead of her waking up.
That's interesting.
So that one was better, but I did not like A Whole New World.
The next book on my list is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This was a fairly hyped book on BookTube. It's about a girl, Mi Young. She's a gumiho, which is a nine-tailed fox. Which I was kind of excited because it's like based on Korean mythology, which, you know, a little representation.
Yeah.
And she loses, it's like her fox speed is what it's called. And like this boy ends up with the fox speed. And so then it's kind of her choosing between like saving this boy's life and her life with the fox speed. But
what's the fox speed for?
You know, I don't really know. Which was kind of the problem I had with the book is the characters fell so flat for me. Like, I didn't connect to any of them, like, at all. So when the two characters kind of start, because it's obvious they're going to be love interests. I don't really think that's a spoiler.
No.
It, like, wasn't cute. I just felt super uncomfortable. I was like, why? Like, why? It just felt weird.
This isn't working.
Like, there was no chemistry. There just was nothing. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I was really disappointed, to be honest, because it was supposed to be so cool with the Korean mythology, but
it sounds like it had potential.
Yeah, but the characters just fell too flat for me. And maybe it's because it's YA and I'm, you know, mid-20s. It's not, I don't know.
Dog hair in my mouth. The next one on my list was The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman.
Ooh, controversial.
I
Unpopular opinion.
That's fine. I did not like this. So I'm sure many of you know this book is about a couple that is married and they're unable to have children. This woman, she has quite a few miscarriages, a stillborn. And then they live on this island. He's a light keeper, and one day a boat. This is like in the first chapter. These aren't spoilers, so it sounds like I'm telling a lot. But this was like a page.
Half the book
is part of my problem here. But so one day a boat comes up, and there's a man in the boat and a baby, and the man is dead, and baby is not dead, and the baby is wrapped in the mom's sweater. So. And ethically, I feel like it was kind of supposed to be like, I don't know. Should they keep the baby? Should they have given it back? I don't know. But no, the argument to me that was made was not, it wasn't good. Like, I felt like Me Before You was more like, oh, I don't know, I could see both points of view on that one. And this one just was like, I can't. You guys be crazy. And I didn't like the relationship that the husband and wife had. I have nothing good to say about this book. The audio narrator was bad. Like, I mean, it just...
None of it.
I think I ended up... I can't remember if I gave it 1 or 2 stars, but I'm pretty liberal with my stars, and it was not for me. And it's fine. If you liked it, great. I read it for a book club with another group of people, and one of the girls in that group, she really liked it, and she really felt like the ethical dilemma was more of a dilemma than I did. So, total personal opinion there.
My next book is Middlegame by Shannon McGuire. This is another one that's really difficult to explain. Basically, there's this guy, and he created these 2 children, and...
Wait, what?
like they're like test tube babies almost.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how else to say that.
Sorry.
He's like, I don't know, and he wants to become a god, and these children are supposed to help him ascend to godhood. I mean, it sounds kind of cool.
It does sound interesting.
Yeah, but it was very repetitive.
Mm.
And it became very dramatic, where it was a lot of drama between the characters. That was just, I just thought it was dumb. Really, you just can't talk this out and figure it out. It's just one of the things where rational people will not act that way. Maybe that was the point. Maybe they weren't supposed to be rational. I don't know. But it just was they kept doing the same things over and over and over.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys!
At least one of you had to be like,
I know.
no, this isn't working.
Yeah, but... So I was pretty disappointed. I just, if they had been maybe a couple hundred pages shorter, it would have been better for me, but nope.
Yeah. That was the same with The Light Between the Oceans. It was like, what are we even still doing here? Sometimes your books don't need to be that long.
That's right.
They just don't.
And that's okay.
It's not like a paper where you have to get a certain amount of pages and so you can repeat yourself.
Right? What is it with having to be a long book and it's prestigious or something?
Yeah, right? If your book's not long, it's not worth reading.
Everybody loves a good short story.
Okay, next book on my least favorite books of the year is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon. And I talked about this one a little bit in our October wrap-up. So this book is about a boy and his dad at the beginning of the book takes him to the Library of Forgotten Books, and he's supposed to pick one book from there, and the book that he picks is called The Shadow of the Wind. And he loves this book, and he's trying to discover more about this author's life, and discovers that the rest of the books that this author has have all been burned and destroyed. And then he's starting to discover that his life is kind of living in parallel with the other guy's life, and there's supposed to be, the description of it talks about how it's, if he doesn't figure it out soon, they all might die, or something. It sounded really dramatic and really good. And it wasn't, I think that's why it was really one of my least favorite books. It felt like it could have been something really good, and it just wasn't done well. And then the mystery aspect of it, it was so this little boy, he would go up and he would talk to somebody, and he would ask them a question, and then it would be well... And I just kind of envision, if it had been in a movie, there would have been a fade out as the person's looking out the window or something.
It was dramatic.
It was. And it just felt awkward and choppy. And I think that either it needed to be more of a conversation when the 2 people were talking, or there needed to be flashbacks kind of happening. And that would have helped it a lot. So.
That's too bad. Because I think that description sounds super cool.
Right? That's what I thought too. It
Bummer.
wasn't. And the audiobook, randomly piano music would start playing. And when you have it at 2 times speed,
than it.
I couldn't understand the narrator half the time. Turn off this music!
Okay, and the last book I have on my least favorite books of the year, which you might have to stop me because I might go off on a tangent because, man, I didn't like this book. It's the only one I have a physical copy of. It's from the library, The Beautiful by Renee Audier. This book was so boring.
Here she goes.
Well, first, let me tell you what it's about. So it's about Celine. She travels over from France in the I don't know if it's mid 1800s, somewhere in the 1800s. She moves to New Orleans, which is like super cool.
Yeah.
Like New Orleans in the 1800s. And there's like, she kind of stumbles across this mysterious society and she doesn't really know what's going on. And they seem like inhuman. And then somebody in the town is like brutally murdering women.
Oh.
Like throats ripped out.
Oh.
Pretty brutal.
Cool.
So it sounds cool.
Yeah. Description of that is like...
But it's like, the first murder happened pretty early on. And then when the next girl died, it was still like, there was just like so much nothing that was happening in between. Like, seriously, I don't even know what happened. Like, she went to some parties and there was like awkward sexual tension between her, and then they tried to set up this love triangle, and it's like,
gosh. I'm so done
no.
with love triangles.
And this one, it's blatantly obvious who's gonna win.
Win? Is the prize really someone that can't make up their mind?
That's true. So, and like, I don't know, she just was kind of not like those other girls, if you know what I mean.
She was special.
And I think it was trying hard to not do that, but I don't feel like it succeeded.
That's too bad.
Yeah, well, she kept talking about, like, the other women would say, oh, you have, like, such a beautiful figure, and she was like, it's such a trial, because men look at me. And, like, I just can't really feel sorry for somebody who's beautiful. Like,
no! Poor you!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. And then there was this one part, which this just kind of sums up why I didn't like the main character. I don't know if she was supposed to be unlikable, but I didn't like her.
If so, good job.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler. So they go to this party, and the theme is like A Midsummer Night's Dream, so they're all supposed to dress up as a character from A Midsummer Night's Dream. So she shows up, and everybody's dressed as, like, I don't know, satyrs, or just like, I don't remember, but just like kind of random things from Greek mythology, essentially. And she is like so personally offended. She's like, have these fools never read the book before? They've never read it before, I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
And it was like, what a snob.
What is the big deal?
You know? Like the whole flippin' party. She'd pass somebody and be like, can't believe they dress as that. And then the best part, I was telling her about this earlier, I forgot to tell you this. This may be like a super minor spoiler. I don't really think this would be a spoiler, but if you don't want to know like anything, just skip ahead. So she's like upset that all these people are dressed as, you know, characters from not A Midsummer Night's Dream. So then the love interest shows up, and he's not dressed as them either.
No way.
But that's fine, because he looks hot, so...
He's attractive. He can
hot,
pull
it's
it off.
Cool. So anyways, I didn't like that book. I think I gave it 2 stars because there was literally one scene in the whole book that I thought was amazing that made me add another star.
She was complaining about this book for a little bit, so I was surprised that she even finished it.
I don't know why I did.
It's not like her.
Yeah, I think it's just because it was so hyped.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to, like, I don't know, if it had a really explosive ending, I might have given it 3 stars if the ending, like, really blew me away. Because sometimes that makes, like, the boredom of the rest of the book worth it, but in this case it did not. I guess it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it because I don't really care.
You won't, like, think about it ever. I wonder.
Probably not.
Yeah.
When the next one comes out, I might be like, how did that end again? I don't remember. Anyway, so I didn't like it.
My last book, and I feel like I've talked about this one a lot, But the last one on my list is Now Entering Adamsville by Francesca Zappia. This wasn't that interesting. So this is a book about Zora, if I remember right, is the main character, and she can see ghosts. And then her cousin can like feel them, and they're supposed to be fighting demons. See? Even now, I'm confused about what happened in this book.
There's something starting fires in the town, and like a year before something, Zora was blamed for a bunch of the fires starting, and that's happening again. So she's trying to figure out who's actually starting these fires.
And she does do that, but there was
That's true.
a bunch of other storylines going on throughout. Like one of them, this isn't a spoiler, this is part of the beginning. Her mom has like vanished, and she could also see the ghosts, and she was training Zora to do all of these things, but like they never did anything about that. And I don't know, to me there was just a lot of things that were going on in that book that weren't closed off and finished, and it would have been a much more exciting and interesting story if those things had been in there a little bit more.
All right, well, that's it. Luckily, there weren't, like, too many.
No.
I just feel really passionate about this one.
Yes, she does.
So I'm glad it's from the library. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. And if anybody watches, wants to leave a comment, tell us what your least favorite books of the year were. We'd love to know.
Yeah. Or if you disagree or agree about any of our least favorite
Yeah, leave
books.
a hate comment down below. We'll see you in our next video.
Bye.